Oh man, my bald spot is eating me alive! I'm your host, Daniel Crozier, and this is COFOH Live Undead, and I am privileged to have the amazing Jeffrey Reddick. Oh my god, Final Destination! Holy shit! But first, you have something on my face. Oh, Jeffrey.
Hey, how are you?
Are you?
How are you? Like, wasn't as exciting as getting like things splashed all over me and monster suit, but how are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for coming on to the show. Oh man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Jeffrey, you've got this amazing new movie, that just came out. It's available on Amazon. Don't Look Back. Wow, you have been a busy guy.
Yeah, no, it's my first time directing a feature, and yeah, I'm really excited we got it, finished and out, and the response has been really good. So it's it's just exciting. It's exciting. A good way to end the year.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, Jeffrey, a lot of people know you as the creator, the writer behind Final Destination, but I mean you have written and have started directing your shorts, and now your first feature, Don't Look Back. Can you tell us a little bit about where you came from and how you got into filmmaking?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Eastern Kentucky, so I like to say I was definitely living the coal miner's daughter story. We were poor, but we had love, and from a young age, I just always loved horror films. I used to watch them with my best friends, Tony and Calvin, and
Nice.
my mom would let us watch them when we were way too young. I'd make my sister Shayna watch them too sometimes, but we just started watching horror films all the time and loved them for the the blood and my Tony and Calvin loved them for the boobs as well. I'm like, yeah, whatever on the boobs, but it was just fun, and it was something that other kids couldn't watch, so you felt like you were watching something that was kind of forbidden. So,
Yeah.
but we also read Fangoria magazine, so we knew exactly, we read about how they did this magic behind the movie, so that was really fascinating too. But I think the thing that made me kind of turn from like a fan into like I want to do this for my living was Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw that movie when I was 14, and it blew me away. It still is my favorite movie of all time, and that showed me like what you could really do with film, like as far as like characters and special effects and creating a villain, and that made me fall in love with the genre. And once I saw that movie, I've told the story a lot, so pardon me if you've heard it before, but after I saw the first one, I went home and I banged up a prequel idea and sent it to Bob Shea in New York at New Line Cinema. I found out who ran New Line Cinema, and he sent it back to me because it was unsolicited, and I had to look up unsolicited because I didn't know what that meant because I'm 14. And I sent it back to him, and I'm like, look, mister, I've seen 3 of your movies, so I think you could spend 5 minutes and read my story. And he read it. And
That's awesome.
those were the good old days. You could do that back before the studios were like these behemoths and you could actually get a hold of somebody. But him and his assistant got back to me and started sending me like movie posters, and they'd read my scripts. So they were very encouraging. Yeah. Like, I mean, again, for a 14-year-old, kid who knew nothing about the movie business, it was a godsend to have them respond to me. And I stayed in touch with them from age 14 to 19, and I went to college at Berea college in Kentucky studying theater. I was going to be like the first like, you know, biracial centerfold in Teen Beat magazine. That was my goal at the time. Like, I don't want to be in Teen Beat anymore because that would be really not appropriate. And I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York to study theater for the summer in 91. And I got an internship at New Line and got an acting agent and just was like, oh, you know, I'm doing this. So I started at New Line and interned there and worked there for 11 years. And, you know, they eventually made Final Destination. You know, they picked it up in 97, my treatment. And then, you know, I wrote the first draft and then they went out with it. And yeah, the rest is, you know, history. So
yeah, that's amazing. It's, yeah, I find it so encouraging that, you know, that somebody in the industry would, you know, take, you know, young Jeffrey under their wing and you know, kind of, you know, show him the ropes, so to speak. You know, that's awesome. You know, it's not something that you hear about, you know, too often these days.
Yeah, and you know, again, I think it was a perfect because New Line was known as the house that Freddie built. You know that Freddie Nightmare on Elm Street kind of turned it into like a major player. And then after that, I mean, they just did such amazing work. So luckily I wrote Bob, like, you know, right when Nightmare was taking off. So they were still small enough where you could, you know, he could do it. Yeah, he was accessible. And I really got to give a lot of credit to Joy Mann, his assistant too. She's not with us any longer, unfortunately, but she really she would always answer my calls. I mean, I probably bugged the hell out of her now that I think back about it. Cause I help people too. And I don't mean that like they're bugging the hell out of me, but I'm just saying when you're younger, you don't realize that somebody can't get back to you like in an hour of you calling them. But she just put up with me when I was a kid. And then I obviously matured as I got older. But yeah, it's you know, it's just amazing that, you know, there are people out there that still do that. And I try to do that as much as I can too. Like I don't have a big company or anything like that, but it's just me and my cat who is not very good at like reception stuff. So it's pretty much all just me. I mean, I have an agent manager, but as far as like, you know, the helping stuff, it's, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say your cat, you know, it's there for decor. It's, you know, it's the assistant that looks good, right?
Yeah. And she likes to walk my laptop. And I'm like, unless you're typing, like go away off the laptop. Learn how to type. You know, I'm hoping one day I'll just wake up and she's written like this awesome script and I don't have to give her credit for it. That's another thing I learned in Hollywood is get other people to work for you for free. Don't give them credit. That's a good way to.
Yeah. Good job there. Yeah. Intern.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's what that is. Unpaid internship. Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, if you ever need an unpaid intern, you know, I'm always one click away.
Oh, you're going to regret saying that. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah. I figured as much. As soon as the words came out, it's just like, oh, great.
Yep. I'm going to start sending you so much shit. Stuff. You're going to be like,
yeah. Oh, you can say shit. You know, if I can say fuck, you can say shit.
Okay. It's funny because I don't curse in real life, but I get on a podcast and it just starts, not flying out too much, but I'll just start
like you're
Yeah, they were trying to be like hip and cool, you know. So I was like, well, you know, you got to curse to be cool, so fuck it.
That's what I learned, you know, in the back alleys and stuff. It's like, hey, want a cigarette? What? Cigarettes make you look cool. Yeah. Oh man, you know, Jeffrey, I met you, you know, a few years ago. Well, it's been a little bit more than a few. You know, at Mile High Horror Film Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a featured guest, and I had Enigma with me, and you gave us a lot of advice on filmmaking and you know, raising you know, money for projects and stuff. And we always appreciated that because you were so generous with your time and everything, and you didn't have to be, and that's something that you know, we always loved about you.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know, it's again, it's people have always helped me. And then I have to give give that to my mom. You know, she raised us, she raised us with a firm hand, but she very, right. And, again, I'm always just very grateful to have the career that I've had and the opportunities I've had. So, the very least I can do is help other people, or, tell them my experience, whether it's helpful or not.
Right. No, I think it's pretty encouraging, because for me, what you've just conveyed, I haven't really heard. At least not that version where young kid, just incredible due diligence, knocking on the door, and just hitting that right person that's like, yeah, come on in, let's work together and stuff. Took a few years, but
yeah, well, that's and that's how I honestly, like, certainly as you get older you start reflecting on something. That's really honestly how life works, because when I was 14 I didn't have any master, I didn't think, oh, I obviously thought Bob was gonna fall in love with my prequel and make it, but I didn't have any master plan about, oh, I'm going to get in with these people and then they're going to help. Like, it was just, I had that goal and that drive and that dream. And it's certainly the lesson you learn in Hollywood. It takes a long time to get there a lot of times. Right. But it was like me putting that out there that had a positive effect on my, moving my career forward and my life forward. And I think as we get older, this business, any business, life in general, can kind of beat that dream out of you a little bit, or
sure.
or get your self-doubts coming more, where you just start doubting yourself a lot more. So I think, I try to just tap back into that 14-year-old, I'm not great at it by any means. I'm only human. So, but I still try to tap back into that, like, just believing in yourself and, right. Dreaming big and taking a step, even if it's like making a phone call or writing something, to do it. And it only takes that one person. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street was turned down by every studio in Hollywood until New Line picked it up. Right. So every time you hear of a hit like that movie or any film, you'll find, like, Blair Witch. I'm friends with Dan Myrick, who's at Mile High too. Like, we love that festival, by the way. But
they're great.
But every studio passed on that one, and then this one company picks it up, and then it becomes a phenomenon. So it really does just take that one person. But you have to have the perseverance and the patience,
right,
to keep growing and keep working until you find that right fit, the right person at the right time. And sometimes there's usually like a 10-year history behind every movie that you see come out.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed that. Everything from like Taxi Driver to Godfather.
Yeah.
It's it's like, oh yeah, you guys wrote it like before you went into production. No, it was written like 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And we shopped it. Nobody cared. And sometimes it even takes like a whole studio of heads turning over to a different generation. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Oof, something's floating around in here.
It's a ghost.
Yeah, it's a ghost. I think it was the feather of the dead. Oh dear! Stop it! I'm allergic to you.
Are you pillow fighting over there?
Probably. It's like, yeah, you can't see what's happening off camera.
I know, absolutely. Floating feather goes right to Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
But yeah, so I kind of like think back too on Nightmare on Elm Street and Final Destination. You've got that you talk about that character with Freddy Krueger that lives in your dreams, and it's kind of that ethereal landscape, and then something somewhat abstract with Final Destination, where it's things like the fates, playing with correcting the flow of how things are supposed to end and everything in Final Destination. It seems like some abstract concepts to be conveyed on film, but it gets conveyed, and it ends up finding its stride in a massive audience and stuff. Was that always was Nightmare? Was that a big influence on something like Final Destination when you were writing it, or when you were coming up with the story?
I mean, I think it's a big influence on a lot of my stuff, to be honest. Like, it was definitely a hard sell even to the studio about having death as the killer because, you know, you couldn't see it, you know, and
Right.
they were like, but you can't see it. You can't fight it. We're like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, my initial draft that I turned into the studio that they went out with was a lot more Nightmare on Elm Street-y, because I had it that since death didn't kill them the first time, it kind of screwed up. It basically brought their biggest fears and their biggest sins or their guilt to life in these kind of nightmarishy sequences, and they killed themselves. So it was a lot darker.
Yeah.
So a lot darker. So, you know, I think that not showing death was great because it allowed us to kind of transcend cultures. So you didn't have to have a certain religious belief or cultural belief to have the film work. But I think one thing that James Wong and Glenn Morgan did really well when they came on is they came up with the Rube Goldberg device where death was kind of all around us. So they stripped the kind of Nightmare on Elm Street stuff out and created this kind of Rube Goldberg thing, which I think actually really helped the film. I think it helped it expand beyond a horror audience, a traditional horror audience, because my take was, I still, you know, love it, but it was just dark, you know, and very, very, very horror specific, and gruesome, and suicides, which is pretty heavy. So I think the Rube Goldberg thing added a whole level of like lightness to it, and also made sure that, you know, it's like, oh my God, if something falls over, death's starting its plan.
Right.
So I think that they brought a level of humor and to it, and I think that take on how death worked really helped the film, you know, find the wide audience that it found.
Nice. Yeah, I see. You know, when you watch your new film, you know, Don't Look Back, you know, you see a lot of, you know, similarities in you know, concepts. You know, one being in this film karma, which plays out, you know, really heavily. So so I was like, oh wow, you know, it's nice to see that progression from, you know, where you wrote Final Destination as the story, you know, to, you know, lensing, you know, your own original story with Don't Look Back. Yeah, obviously with you know, taking the director's chair, big difference. Much more hats you have to wear, and longer nights, I'd imagine too.
Yeah, it was a great experience. It was also a huge learning experience because you know, I kind of joke about it now, but I'd been on so many sets before, and, you know, sat with directors and watched them and stuff that, you know, I was like, oh, this is, you know, not easy. I didn't think it was easy, but I didn't quite. It's just it's a completely different world. You know, because you also think, oh, well, if I direct my own script, it's going to be just like what I wrote on the page. You know, you'll read some scripts like James Cameron, you know, you read his Alien script and it looks like the movie that you envision in your head when you read it. I don't know if it's because you've seen the movie, but it just feels like it. So, but of course, you know, he has like $100 million budgets or $200 million budgets. And when you're doing your own film, you go, oh, this is why we have to do this differently. It's because it doesn't translate thematically. We don't have the locations. We don't have the budget for this. And then you have to start like really thinking on your feet a lot. So it was really fun. It was, you know, I had a great team around me. It was exhausting. Yeah. Like you don't get much sleep. Like you're first thing there in the morning, and the crew does, you know, the takedown crew leaves after you. But by the time you get home and you talk to your DP and first AD about like the next day, what you're doing, you sleep for a few hours and then you're back up again. So
no rest for the wicked, so to speak.
No rest for the wicked.
Yeah, I've heard it explained to me a couple times that you know, when you make a movie, you're essentially making three different films. The script is one film. You know, what you shoot is one film, and what you edit is a third completely different film.
Absolutely, and that's true. And as a writer, a lot of times, again, because you picture the movie in your head when you write it. So when the movie comes out, a lot of times you're like, I don't understand why it's not exactly. And then once you direct, you're like, oh, I get it. I totally. It's very, very true, because there's the movie that you envisioned, which is like limitless based on your imagination. There's a movie that you shoot, which is kind of takes into account the realities of like how much you have, how much money you have and what you can shoot. And then there's a movie you edit, which is like, okay, well, we got everything that we wanted from the script, but what do we need? And yeah, how do we tell this story? So,
right.
Yeah, so it was a phenomenal learning experience. And, you know, I did pick something for the first film that was like not straight up horror, but more of like a mystery. So you don't know if it's a killer, which they obviously tell you not to do. In genres, they're like, don't mix genres up. But this is kind of like a mystery thriller and potentially supernatural movie.
Right.
So yeah, it was an interesting balancing act to try to walk it from shooting it to editing it, and then putting all the other elements, working with the sound designer and the colorist and the special effects team. It is like making 3 separate movies. And I think I've met directors who have short circuited the track because they just directed so much that they shoot to like edit because they already know how the movie is going to look in their head. I meet those people. I'm like, you're like a mad genius. I don't know how, because you can storyboard and plot out a movie, but I've met some directors, the director on the call, like he knows, he's just got the movie like in his head. So he'll just go in and be like, I just need this shot. We'll do 2 of these, but it's really fast because he just has the movie in his head already.
Yeah. That's phenomenal when you're able to work with people like that. I've worked with DPs that are like that. If you're directing, sometimes you don't always have the clearest grasp, but it's nice to surround yourself with an amazing team that can offer up solutions, on the spot.
I definitely had that with this one because it was a pretty, like, we only changed one scene for budget reasons. The opening was originally going to involve a car crash, and we changed that to the opening that we have now. And I wrote that when we were doing pre-production, just because I'm like, if we did a car crash, it would not look good. But the rest of the script we didn't change. Like and before it'd been budgeted at like 5 million or, more, even more. Like I think at one point we had 10 million budget for it. And so we went down there and I was like, we got all this. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. There's certain things we can't do because we don't have enough people.
It's got to be interesting, kind of working those scenarios back, like, take a look at those situations and those scenes and like, is that something that you figure out in like the storyboard process, or is it something that, when you get further along in like pre-production that you start realizing we don't have the resources to do X, so we got to switch the scene to Y or something like that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it probably depends on the flow of the production. I mean, I know with this one, we had planned to shoot it with a studio and go, we'd gone down to Baton Rouge, location scouted it. And then when we came back, they told us they'd shut down their film division. So we decided, my producer, Andrew Vandenhouten, and Andy Steinman, another producer, decided we're just going to do it ourselves, because we'd already spent like 6 months of our lives like planning for it. So I storyboarded the movie based on the locations that we had picked for the location scout. And then of course we get down there and we couldn't get a lot of those locations back. So it was a interesting juxtaposition where, the storyboards came in handy to a degree, but they didn't come in as handy as they would have if we had done it. So, we were very big on our film, just the shot list, making sure we had our shot list down and we got the shots that we needed. But again, for me, it was also a learning curve because I'm very visually oriented. So I was like, I've got storyboards here. And it's like, it's like break down the shot list.
Right. Yeah. Just do it from there. It's like, okay, but how do you transition to this, to this, to this?
Yeah.
It's like,
so it was, like I said, it was definitely like such a huge learning experience. Like it's affected, I definitely plan on directing I have a couple other projects I definitely want to direct. And it's just affected even how I'm going to go back and approach them on a script level, because I just realized, film's a visual medium, I don't have to, the audiences are smarter than studios like to think they are, so you don't have to explain everything, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you're writing a script, you have to remember you're writing a script for the person reading it. You're not writing it as a shooting draft for the feature. So obviously, if someone's reading a 100-page script, there are things you're gonna have to repeat because you have to drill it into somebody's head because they're reading 100 pages and your script is like one of 5 they're reading that day. So there are tricks you have to do in screenwriting to kind of just remind people of stuff so they don't have to go back looking through the script trying to figure stuff out. That obviously if you film it, it's just redundant. So those are the kind of things like I've learned, like for shooting, how to approach the script now.
That's a really good point. It's a, you know, it's good to keep, you know, kind of, you know, bringing that stuff up, reminding people. I'd imagine, you know, obviously thematically too, but like if there's, you know, little elements, little turns, or also maybe like little cues that might indicate certain technical approaches too.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's again, you learn it after you do it, I think is the best way to put it, because even with Don't Look Back, I mean, I again, I'm so proud of it, especially for my first film. Like you know, my friends are like, you're either gonna hate it and, you know, be like, I'm never doing that again, and I definitely don't. Like, I'm really proud of it. But
yeah,
you know, I learn like, oh yeah, I do. You know, there's a lot of talking and exposition, and it's like the audiences pick up things really quickly. So I'm like, next time I know, like, I can lose a lot of that. But that, you know, that makes it interesting for actors to have more dialogue. But
right. Well, I think it's a really sharp film, and I highly recommend everybody after this interview, you go and you find it on Amazon. What other platforms?
It's on iTunes. It's on all the streaming platforms. It's on iTunes, Vimeo, YouTube, Fandango, Google Play. It's like a tramp. It's just out there everywhere. You can just walk outside or get on your cable thing and you'll find it hanging around there somewhere saying "Buy me."
Just do a Google search too to you know, increase all the searches for it as well, and then you'll find the platform you're most comfortable with. But yeah, I highly recommend it. You know, like we were talking about off before we went live. You know, I watched it twice. I really wanted to make sure I was, you know, I was a little bit more aware as to, you know, what was going on and stuff. Because you're working with, you know, abstract themes like karma, and you know, everybody that watches this show knows I have a really thick skull, so I'm not the brightest, you know, bulb here. But
I walk into walls all the time. It's not, you know, it makes us tough. It makes us tough.
Yeah, it's like I got a nice little, you know, thick patch right there. So, you know, it's, what else are you gonna do during pandemic? You know,
I know. It's like walking to a wall. Come on.
So let's try glass this time.
That breaks. That's no fun to walk into. It breaks.
Yeah. It's something to do, something to sweep up. You know, it's fine. Look at him. He's hardy.
Do you say he's hardy?
Hardy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a hardy man, yes.
Yeah. He's fine. You know, once he stops bleeding, you know, he'll be okay.
He'll be okay.
Oh, geez. But yeah, it's yeah, I really like too, like, you know, how the film opens up. You know, it does, and I you know, hopefully I'm not giving too much away by saying, you know, you're coming from a a nice social issue that I don't think really gets too much light of the day. If something bad is happening, people don't readily intervene, and which obviously, you know, alludes to some karmatic, you know, experiences in the film. But it's like, yeah, that's a real problem. I remember hearing, I think it was in the 1970s.
Kitty Genovese.
What's that?
Kitty Genovese.
It was that the
woman in the apartment complex?
Yes.
Yep,
yes,
that's exactly. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's the story. That's the story that stuck with me. You know, thinking about this. Yeah.
And that's the story that came to mind while I was watching those opening sequences, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, it's yeah, this is a real issue that I mean, it still happens today. You
Yeah.
still see people, and good for them for videotaping the scenario, but sometimes people also need to intervene as
Well,
well.
it's also like call the cops first. Like that's what frustrates. Like you'll watch people video in these situations, and then you'll hear them go, "Do you think I should call the cops now?" And it's like you should have called them before you started recording. Like,
Right,
because yeah, you definitely don't want to tell people they need to like rush out into danger. If it's not safe, but there's even that level of at least call the police first. But now we've turned into such a culture where people want to, they pull out their cell phones. Like that's their first thought is to start recording something horrible
right.
and then kind of put it on YouTube so that, faster than anybody else as opposed to helping people. So
Yeah.
it's gotten sadly more relevant. It's interesting, just the Kitty Genovese story for people who don't know it. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's just,
No, that's
I
fine.
knew you had it. I knew you were on the same boat with that one. But yeah, it's a story that we kind of grew up hearing this story about this woman who was assaulted in her courtyard of her apartment complex. And they said 40 or 50 people like heard her and didn't help. And that became like an urban legend. The interesting thing is when I was flying down to Baton Rouge to shoot this, I saw a documentary. I don't know if it's on Netflix or HBO or one of the streamers. I saw a documentary on that. And it turns out people actually did help in a way. Nobody did anything heroic. I mean, she still died. But it turns out that the reporter went down there because he'd heard about the case and he thought the best spin on it was that nobody helped, so it was kind of like it became this whole like nationwide urban legend and nobody went down to help her. But some people had called the police and some people like, I guess a woman when she got assaulted, like before she passed away, went down and like was with her in the stairwell. So it wasn't as callous as we were brought up to believe. But it was very interesting to see that story when I was flying down to shoot this. Cause that, like when you first started, that story has always stuck with me as like, how could people do that? But we see it now every day,
Yeah. The inactivity of everyday people. I mean, what a big sin that is. I mean, there's a person that actually does the crime, but if everybody just stands by and does nothing, it's like, they're going to get away with it. And it's going to perpetuate that nasty deed, that evil person to go and do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's so appropriate for the time too, that we live in with, not only the pandemic and Black Lives Matter, protesting police violence and so many more injustices that during this time, the cracks in the system really do get brought to light because more people are able to pay attention and call it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the sad thing is when we were shooting, everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is so relevant now." And I was like, I wrote this a while ago. Like this isn't, it's just sadly it's gotten more relevant. This has gotten more relevant because again, people are, like you said, we're kind of dealing with a pandemic on top of everything else. And so people are at home a lot more. People have their phones when they're out and people are just used to automatically when anything happens, like pulling out their cell phone. So hopefully things will turn a corner soon in January, hopefully. Sorry.
No, I totally agree.
I mean, just the fanning of the flames will end at the end of January. So so hopefully at least the national temperature of stress and frustration will be turned down a few notches. And obviously the pandemic's still going to keep us under its thumb for a while, but hopefully a vaccine comes soon enough. And again, I hope this just all brings out our better angels. Like that's the thing. It's like we can either make the worst out of a situation, or we can let a situation bring out the worst in us. And hopefully we just kind of don't let this keep bringing out the worst in us, myself included. Like I don't think I'm any angel or saint, but you should see how I yell at the cat sometimes. I'm like, "Rah!" No, I'm just kidding. That's the one that you can't. I do not hurt my cat, so I don't want to get any cat.
I didn't say you were going to do that, but but I thought, well, that's a great image. It's like yeah, yeah. That's the wrong cup of coffee, Cat. You know.
Yeah, bring it. I said Splenda. Damn it.
Yeah,
Throw
yeah.
this up at the
Not
cat.
that real sugar shit. That's bad for my kidneys. God damn it.
Bring me that chemical stuff.
Yeah, the other chemical stuff.
And where's my meth?
The one that's
I just thought it'd be funny, a cat cooking up meth.
Well, isn't that going to be the sequel to Breaking Bad? It's yeah. I don't know what you would call that, but now I feel a pitch coming on.
I know. I was trying to think of some cat thing that rhymes with. There's so many probably that rhyme with mad, but I can't think of any. Just call it Breaking Cat. You know, that's it.
Breaking Cat. There you go. Breaking Cat. Yeah. God.
Anyway, meth is not funny. Don't do meth.
Yeah, kids, don't do meth.
Don't do meth.
Making it, it's fine, but don't do it.
Cats making it is fine.
Oh, that's true. Actually, that would make for a great 2021 calendar. Kitty meth making.
Kitty meth making. I actually like that. I think I found a job for my intern assistant cat now.
There you go.
Can't type. Like, start making the meth.
Yeah, start making some meth. Let's go. Put in. That's right. Well, that would be hilarious. Just take cats and reenact scenes in Breaking Bad. That'd be funny. There's the bathtub scene with the wrong with the acid and everything. You know that'll be cute.
There we go. Somebody's going to make that calendar before we're done with this conversation and become a millionaire.
I know. I think with all the comments that were coming in right now, I think it's these bunch here. Brian was saying that it sounds like your original script idea for Final Destination would make itself a great film. Oh, he looks like he bought Don't Look Back on iTunes today.
Oh, thank you. I do tell everybody, because I know a lot of people probably are expecting kind of a Final Destination like R-rated horror film, and this one's definitely more of a mystery thriller,
right?
Because of the nature, you don't really know what's after the people, so I couldn't really show them getting killed in like fantastical ways, but yeah, it's a fun movie. It's definitely got a Final Destination vibe to it, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, it certainly does. Looks like Rocket Pig. I was an adult for Final Destination, and that got me to great films. So
I love it when somebody's like, "Yay, thank you, Rocket Pig." I love it when people are adults and watch them. And this is fun, but it's also just a joke. But I love it when I'm at a convention or something, and somebody will come up to me like, "I watched Final Destination 3 when I was 14." I'm like, "Yay, you little young fucker!" Like, that would make me feel old.
Right.
I wrote Final Destination when I was 5, so anyway, it's all good.
Yeah. How dare you be younger than me? Yeah, part 1 really got me good. So yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you've got quite a bunch of fans on here. So James is super excited for a mystery thriller.
Oh,
so yeah, he's looking forward to Don't Look Back. Yeah, let's see here. Millionaire, you say. Millionaire, you say. I am on it. So think they're working towards something. Hopefully, but yeah. See, sometimes these come in and you don't have the time to really address them. But so it gets a little abstract.
Because you're not sure when they asked the question like 10 minutes ago on something we were talking about.
Yeah,
because we're talking about cats making meth, and it's like,
exactly.
It's like, for the cats making meth. Tangent.
I guess with comments, they really need to put things in context a little bit better. But
my brain's all over the place too. So
yeah, well, and I love having these conversations with filmmakers and artists, and the conversations always get so fun and interesting. So you always forget. It's like, oh yeah, you got all these other wonderful people that want to participate in this capacity too.
Well, let them in, I says.
Well, with that,
Oh,
COFOH,
cool.
I watched Dead Awake premiere in Georgetown.
No, that's
So,
awesome.
uh, yeah, tell us a little bit more about Dead Awake. I think that's one of your works that I'm just not as familiar with.
How dare you?
I'm a
How
piece of
dare you?
shit.
You didn't watch my whole library of some good and some bad films? How dare you? Dead Awake is a good one. It's about sleep paralysis.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, it's about these twin sisters who've had an estranged relationship, and one of them has been suffering sleep paralysis. Oh, there's the cat. Notice
There's
she's
the
not
cat.
typing, and she's not making any meth. She's just kind of loitering.
Yep.
So
Come on,
can't even loiter right. So one of them is suffering from sleep paralysis, which is when you wake up and your body's frozen, but you're still conscious. All right, get on the camera. And one of the twin sisters dies from it. And since they're twins, the other sister senses it, but everybody thinks that her sister just died of natural causes. So she starts investigating sleep paralysis. And, it's basically a horror film where, the night hag of sleep paralysis starts coming after victims, and they have to figure out a way to stop it.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. I've recently seen a documentary on like night terrors.
Yeah.
And sleep paralysis and so and the psychological things that are going through there. It's a real thing, and it's terrifying as shit.
Yeah, it's funny because I've only had sleep paralysis a couple times, but not the crazy, seeing things kind of thing. Because I can lucid dream, so I kind of know when I'm in a dream state. So I don't have I get the medical thing behind sleep paralysis is when you wake up when your body's frozen because it hasn't snapped over to being awake, because your brain shuts down your body at night so you don't act out your dreams. When you wake up and your body's paralyzed, your brain automatically goes into like survival mode. So it starts flooding your, all of your senses with like, chemicals and stuff like that. And so that's when people they'll hear things and they'll see things. It's like being on meth, I guess. I'm going to just let the meth line go because it's just not very fun. And it's a real tragedy.
So many other drugs, there's more fun. Like, well, pot's pretty harmless. And then, cocaine, that gets things done.
Yeah. It feels so 80s. Like when I hear people are doing coke about I'm like, is that still a thing? I guess, but whatever. Drugs are always going to be a thing until they're not.
Right.
So,
right.
And I don't start getting all Nancy Reagan on everybody about not doing drugs. So
yeah, just say no, but then again, it's so easy to say yes. It's just as many syllables.
Yes.
See, you said yes.
Yes, I laughed.
So that's interesting. You've experienced, sleep paralysis. Is that something that you put into a lot of your work, your own personal experience, even with the supernatural stuff?
I mean, I try to, but a lot of it comes from me trying to always, and this, I joke there's a studio horror side of me that grew up at the studio. So it helped me a lot so that I don't take rejection personally, because I realized that so many decisions made on what movie they're going to make or what script they're going to buy is not based on the script. It's based on other things.
Right.
So, but working in a studio, it's always what's an idea that's going to appeal to people, not the most people in a generic way, but everybody's afraid of death. A lot of people sleep. So that's why Nightmare on Elm Street, it's just a great movie and a great concept, but everybody falls asleep. So you try to come up with, I think if you look at successful films or successful TV shows, at least the characters are either people that we can all relate to, or they're dealing with a situation that we can all relate to. And since we're all human, there's so much stuff that we can all relate to. But for me, it's always trying to find that relatability, but maybe a new angle on it. So for instance, sleep paralysis, a producer, Wendy Rhodes, and James Gibb brought the concept to me about sleep paralysis. And then of course you start researching it, you realize there's a whole world out there. So much research on it. So, it's great to find a concept like that where you can dig into research and just kind of come up with a story that's different,
Yeah, yeah, I obviously I haven't seen Dead Awake, but with like something like Final
What else?
Destination,
What else haven't you seen there, Daniel? While we're on
I
this,
haven't
let me
seen
put
a
you on the
lot
spot. Let me put you on
huh,
the spot. What haven't you seen of mine?
of
What other
yours.
stuff? Yeah, what other stuff?
I've seen the Final Destination. I've seen was it
Have
the
you seen?
Final Wish?
Have you seen Tamara?
I saw Tamara a long time ago.
Okay, that one you should watch again. That's a fun one.
Yeah, yeah. The but obviously don't look back and Final Destinations. I just enjoy thinking of the common threads that
Yeah,
keep back. And when you talk about Dead Awake, it's like yeah, there's so many of these kind of big concepts, but still abstract notions playing there.
yeah.
You
I think you can't. I think as a creative person, a lot of times you don't even realize that you're putting themes in your stuff. It'll be other people that are pointing out like, hey, your scripts tend to have this element to them or that element to them, and you're like, oh, okay, because it's a
yeah,
writing is a mixture of like things that inspired you, but also your life experiences. So everything's going through that filter, that same filter of yours. So even if you change things up a little bit, there are things that are going to be picked up
right.
just because of influences that you've had and life things that you've gone through. Like, it's so funny because in all my scripts, I have to like consciously, because I'm a big mama's boy. Like, my mom was amazing. And, she left our dad for like cheating on her way back in the early days when you did not leave your husband. So I realized like, oh, all my scripts have shitty dads in them. Like I need to make an effort because there are some really good dads in the world. I need to make an effort to like put those, make sure that I represent those people in my work because, you can't let your life experiences like taint everything that you write.
Right. Well, and you do get a glimmer of that in Don't Look Back too.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the scenes with the dad that kind of sets up your main character, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And that issue. I won't say anything more about that, but that becomes the heart of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, I totally understand that, but yeah, it's there again. You're drawing on I suspect you're drawing on your experiences with since Dad wasn't around, and yeah, good on Mom for being so able to take you out of that situation, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I always, she would always get a Mother's and a Father's Day call from me and my sister. So, yeah, she was a amazing woman. So,
that's awesome. Yeah, and your sister, she's always been very supportive of you too.
Yeah, my sister's like the complete opposite of me. Like she joined the military.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, nice. She's beautiful, but she's just like a badass. Like we were the kind of kids that growing up, like I would joke my way out of trouble in situations, and my sister would just punch her way out of them. So it was great to have her. I mean, it was great to have her around in school, but it's just great to have her in life because she's like, whenever as mom got older, if we ever needed anything, because she spent her last, years in a nursing home, so in Kentucky, and so my sister was like there with her all the time. But if anything needed to be done, and I tried the nice way of doing it, I would just be like, all right, I'm sending Shayna over, and then they'd be like, we're gonna take care of it. So, you want a sister like that in your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's amazing. She has a small. She's in a park, in a montage in the park with Andrew Van Houten, his sister. So they're both Tanya and Shane are both in that park scene, like videotaping Caitlin. So it was fun to bring her to set. And she has a cameo in Dead Awake too. She's at the birthday party at the beginning, but she's like the tallest person in the whole. She's taller than Jesse Bradford. She's taller than everybody.
Nice.
So yeah, I love her too. So I can't wait to, I'm trying to get her to move out to California, but she's a Kentucky girl.
Oh, okay. Not still in the military, or?
Yeah, she's in the reserves now. She's in the
Okay.
reserves, but yeah. So she's a Kentucky girl. I'm still a Kentucky guy at heart. LA's nice. I love the weather, but now that you can kind of do business anywhere because everything's kind of getting very cyber based, it'll be interesting because I miss having a farm and.
Yeah. Kind of being able to be outdoors and everything, and kind of take care of I've got two sisters that the older they get, they're both parents, they're both moms, and they're so much more stronger and powerful than I am.
Like the funny thing is because my mom raised me and my sister, but also took care of her parents and helped take care of one of her brothers. And you get older and you're like, you see how much wear and tear one kid does on a couple. And then you think about a single father or a single mother raising them. And you're like, holy crap, how do they, it's hard. I used to growing up, I always dreamed of having a family, but I love kids and I love animals, but my clock's not ticking because I don't have one, but I at least want to have a husband before I have kids because it's too much. I don't want to nanny kids, but I don't want to be, I figure there's going to come a point where I'm like, who needs kids? I'll just just help charities and help other kids.
Yeah, that tends to be the way I'm leaning is, I'll help other people and then help my sisters when I can and stuff. Yeah, right now it's a little bit difficult because of the pandemic, and now it's just like, well, where have your kids been?
Yeah.
Well, they were in school. Are they wearing masks? Are they self-distancing? Are they doing? Yeah. Well, they're kids. Of course not. Not as much as they should.
Then get them out of here.
Yeah, it's like, well, then get them out of here because I got to disinfect everything now.
Yeah.
It's like, Dan, but this is a Zoom call. Even more, delete.
I know, because it'll come through the 5G apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, the COVID comes through 5G now, so.
Yeah. I noticed on IMDb you've got a number of other projects that are in development, and there is one. I think there is, if you don't mind me asking. There,
probably going to mind, but I'll answer.
Okay, good. It looked like there's a samurai rabbit.
Oh yeah. No, that's I'm really excited. It's a spinoff of the Usagi Yojimbo Japanese comic book.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I'm working on that with a great group of writers and animators, and it's going to be on Netflix. I'm not sure exactly when it's coming out yet, but we're knee deep in it, and it's just been so much fun to write. Again, it's a different creative muscle, writing animation. And I've just had so much fun doing it. And it really, the people involved, it's Gaumont TV and Netflix, and the showrunners are Doug and Candy Langsdale, who've worked on a lot of great stuff, including the Kung Fu Panda animation show, and they're just wonderful people. So it's just a fun world to, I don't get to murder people like I used to, but darn it, but it's so much fun.
That's cool. That's such an exciting new beast to try and tackle.
Yeah. And I'm doing another animated series with Netflix hopefully they'll announce pretty soon, and I'm teaming up with I'm doing a couple more animated things, cool. Pretty soon. So it's definitely it's a whole new world. I feel like I should break into a Disney song, A Whole New World, but it's just been so much fun because you get to write some spooky stuff, but I still I do like comedy. I'm never gonna, I always feel like I have to stake my flag. I'm never gonna quit doing horror because I love it. So I could do horror for the rest of my life and be happy. But it is fun to get into this creative, different space, and
Yeah, most definitely. Stretch those creative muscles.
Yeah, they don't let you make as many poop jokes as you think. You think it's kid stuff. Just make poop and fart jokes, and you're like, you have a kid show. It's like, wait, no, that's not what makes a kid show. I'm like, what? You have to be smarter than that. Ugh.
Yeah, that's pretty much my life is poop and fart jokes.
Yeah,
that's
my highlight is literally the meth making cat. So that's about as clever as I get.
It does have a litter box.
Yeah, it does. Oh, it does. Yes. So many tools right there already.
It's like, oh, this writes itself.
I know. I don't need the cat to write a script now. I just have to film the cat.
Yeah, just do something, cat. That's right. That's it.
Right. Oh,
He's
messed
buffering. There he goes. All right, now I gotta empty the litter box. All right. Oh dear. Oh man.
So yeah, I'm really excited about the animated. I'm very excited for that to come out. For some reason, I had it in my head it wasn't coming out. Till one of the other project that I can't talk about yet is coming out on Halloween of this year. But I originally thought it was next year, 2022. So I was like, man, it takes a long time to do animation. And I just found out like a week ago that it's coming out this Halloween. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's better than what I was thinking.
Right. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Jeffrey, I'm so excited for you. You got so many awesome things going on. You got this amazing film. Don't Look Back, and it's so incredible to watch all the cool shit that you're into.
Well, I thank you, and again, I have to really take a moment because this is so true. It's like to thank people like you, because again, like we had a great conversation at Mile High, and just talking to people about the business is fun, but also seeing other people working hard is very inspiring. And also, just fans out there, I never forget, like I would not have a career if it wasn't for the fans, I can make movies all day. Well, I couldn't make them, but if I could make movies all day, I had one time I had a argument with one of my old managers. Don't ever try to figure out who it is because you won't. But they were saying just write a script and we can sell it. And I'm like, I don't want to just sell a script. I want to make a movie. Like I'm doing this to make movies. And this manager was like, well, I have 20 clients who are millionaires and they've never had a movie made. I'm like, well, I'd rather not be a millionaire and have a movie made than be a millionaire with no movies made. And now I'm thinking, well, I'd rather be a multimillionaire with movies made. But that was the whole thing about like art versus commerce. But it's like, for me, it's like, it makes me so happy. Like if somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh, I can't drive behind a log truck. I'm like, okay, sorry. I'm not happy I traumatized people, but it's just happy to, you're happy to know that something you've done is appreciated by people. And I appreciate other people's work too. And, I get a lot of inspiration from seeing other people, really striving and working hard and achieving stuff. And, it's just, it's a great, it's always a privilege to talk to people who appreciate your work and to talk to fans and not fans, anyway, it's just fun. It's nice. It's awesome. So thank you too for having me on the show. How's Enigma doing? I haven't seen him in a while.
He's in Nebraska. So,
cool.
Yeah, he moved up there, opened up a tattoo shop, and because of COVID, he too can't. He used to make his meal ticket by touring around and swallowing swords. So yeah.
I used to do that too, but then no, that I didn't even think of a punchline for that joke, so I just kind of set it up awkwardly.
Yeah, that's okay. The look on your face is punchline enough.
Yeah. Like, I used to travel around swallowing swords, but then they told me that. Yeah.
I think at one point we all did. It's just like now you juggle chainsaws and you're very versatile and your typing skills are immaculate.
Yeah, good save.
Yeah. He's up in Nebraska. He's got a tattoo shop over there. We're working on another comic book series with him. This time it's geared towards kids. So it's interesting writing an R-rated person to be accessible to kids.
Yeah. It's funny because that's, the stuff that I'm working on, it certainly was never R-rated, but it's like, you just take out certain elements of stuff. And again, it's all about the human part of the story. I mean, for Enigma, I mean, he's such a nice, warm-hearted person,
Yes.
And, you would just see him covered in tattoos and you just project all this, like, oh, he's going to be scary or this. And then you talk to him, he's like the nicest, but this is the same thing with horror people, writers and directors. People meet me and they're like, we thought you'd be a lot creepier. I'm like, wait till dark. You know, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that tends to be the you know, what my experience has been, you know, at horror conventions and horror film festivals is, you know, horror fans and horror people in general that work in the industry are the nicest, sweetest, most endearing people I have ever met. You know, they're passionate about the genre. You know, they're passionate to, you know, to support you and to support whatever, you know, you're doing and everything. And they're always interested. You know, they're always willing to engage and go that extra mile. You know, if I'm at a comic book convention, that's not going to be the case. You know.
Yeah. No, I've noticed a big difference. You know, I think it's because, you know, horror movies have always been kind of the genre that's makes money and people make them, but it hasn't earned the respect level of other genres in a way. So it's kind of like the outcast of the movie industry.
Right.
And, you know, I think that, you know, horror fans have always been like, why do you watch that stuff? You know? And it certainly started to get more mainstream, but there's still that underlying like snobbery, you know, like if Invisible Man doesn't get nominated for like Best Picture, or Elizabeth Moss or Leah Whannell don't get nominated, then, you know, screw them, because it just doesn't get the respect that it deserves. And I think that fans have always been the outsider kind of fans,
right?
Who love it and they study it, and you know, you don't see romantic comedy conventions or you know, raunchy comedy conventions or period piece conventions.
Yeah, not so much. If there are those, you know, they definitely piggyback on the comic book conventions or anything that was sub genre or subculture of sorts. But I think that's a beauty too of like horror film, you know, and horror as a genre, you know, whether it's comics or books, is that it's still got that punk rock ethos to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that
edginess,
you know, urban feel that's you know, absolutely, you know, endearing. And then, you know, you'll occasionally have, you know, I wouldn't call them outliers by any means, but you'll have stuff like Silence of the Lambs that does win Best Picture, and it is, you know, I mean, it is a slasher flick.
It's a horror movie, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's just really well mastered and put together, and speaks, you know, to a larger audience. But I think horror films in general speak to any audience and every audience. You know, it's one of those genres that can house, you know, any mode. You know, the horror comedy is incredibly universal. You know, all the way back to like Abbott and Costello to.
I know. I used to watch those movies growing up. I love them. I can't believe they haven't done them. I do this on interviews sometimes because I saw Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and I love that movie. And I'm like, that guy should make Tucker and Dale like the modern day Abbott and Costello. Just put them in a different genre. And I don't know why he doesn't. I've said it enough on the interviews and on the internet. I don't know why somebody hasn't told him and he hasn't done it. But they're so funny together. Like, they should just make them into like the new Abbott and Costello.
They're waiting for you to write that script.
Well, if I write it, I'll just end up making somebody different. But I grew up in Kentucky, so they're the ideal, you know, Abbott and Costello. So I'd probably just come up with two different rednecks. Yeah. Based off Little Hillbilly Me and Hillbilly My Sister. There we go.
That would be a take that, you know, audiences haven't really seen that much before.
Yeah. My sister, actually, if I tried to write anything based on her, she would literally punch me. So I may actually do that. just to irk her.
Yeah. You know, that's what sibling rivalries are for.
That is. All right, let's not go up on that tangent, because now I'll start thinking about it too much.
Yeah, true. Hey, Jeffrey, you know, I want to thank you again for coming onto the show and sharing, your passion and your art with us. And I wanted to remind everybody that's watching to make sure to go out and watch. Don't Look Back. It's absolutely a fabulous film. You guys are going to absolutely love it. I love it. Elise, is enjoying it too. I've got her watching it, so it's absolutely wonderful. And I want to thank you for coming on and just being an amazing person, super talented and super engaging and so endearing.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and everybody who's watching. Thanks for checking us out. So, yeah. And we'll do this again, and we won't wait for I don't know when the last Mile High was. We won't wait for.
It's been 5 years,
okay.
and you haven't aged a bit. I'm wondering where that Dorian Gray painting of yours is.
There's so much. I'm doing the very 90s thing where there's so much Vaseline smeared on the lens.
Oh, fantastic!
My haze over me, so you can't see the wrinkles, kind of like they used to do in the soap operas.
The glamour shots.
One actress, and she's completely. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I just got the harsh blue light, so I figured I'd come dressed up as a Smurf tonight.
Smurfs are scary.
We really are, and we get to places that nobody else can get into. Underwear drawers, vents, you name it.
Yeah, those darn Smurfs.
Oh, curses. Well, Jeffrey, thanks again. Stick around for a little bit, but I've got to sign off. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. And to Alien Donut Films, thanks again for sponsoring us, and to my producers Amanda Armstrong and Stefan Santa Cruz. Hope you guys are doing good, during COVID. And everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Be good. Be safe. Help each other out. We love you.
Take care.